أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري يسر لي أمري وهذا أقدم لساني يفقهوا قولي. Okay. Okay, now I'm logged in. Going to share the screen. Oh. Okay, it's not giving me the option of again share, so I have to log out again. So I have security, voice by chant reactions. When I have the breakout rooms, it doesn't give me the option of share your screen. I don't know why. But let me just check again. Okay. Settings. Why is not the option of sharing the screen? Okay, let me go from the website. Hopefully that should oh, is that incorrect meeting passcode? Okay, now I have the option of sharing. Start share. Sometimes I have to go from the school website. Okay. So I'm going to see the last eye that we did. Friday we didn't do because so you okay, this is the science project. Okay. My science project. Okay. Haika did not post hers. Oh. Dark stuff, stereotype, super. Okay. So we were in Surah An'am chapter 6 verse number 21. Chapter 6 Surah An'am verse number 21. So we did that last time, and who is more unjust than one who invents about Allah a lie or denies his verses. Indeed, the wrongdoers will not succeed. So if I go to this edit, who is more unjust in this ayah? Okay, and the comments were the one who lies about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and
Teacher,
yes, and denies his verses is the one who is more unjust. That was um
teacher, I'm gonna send my science project picture today.
okay, that's fine. So let's finish this inshallah and then I'll ask you for the arts one. Okay. So 22. Okay, Haika, you can read.
Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نعم
Okay, I think that you're having some connection problem or I'm having it, I don't know. Asma, you can read. Let's see if the connection is from my side or your side.
Uh,
Asma, yes, can you please read that?
me now?
Yeah, I'm just because I was Haika, I didn't get I was the voice was breaking a lot. So I'm not sure it's from my side or your side. So I'm asking Asma to read so that I see where the problem is. Okay, Asma, you can read?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yeah, now it's clear. Okay, okay, fine. Haika, you can read.
Okay. ويوم نحشرهم جميعا ثم نقول للذين أشركوا أين شركاؤكم الذين كنتم تزعمون.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. All right. Um, w- oh. So, wa yoma, wa and yoma is day. Yom means day. Nashuruhum. Na is over here. Is for we. Hashar is gather. And hum is them. Nahshuruhum, we will gather them. Jami'a is all. Summa, then, naqulu. Again, the noon over here is for we, and qal means to say. Naqulu, we will say, lillazina. Li is for, and allazina, those who. To those who ashraku, shirk is associate partners with others. Ashraku associated others with Allah. Aina. Aina where? Shuraka'ukum. Shuraka are the partners and kum is your. Shuraka'ukum your partners. Allazina those whom kuntum you used to taz'umun claim. Okay. So we have Asma, you can read the translation.
Yeah, okay. And it mention, O Muhammad, the day we will gather them all together, then we will say to those who associated others with Allah, where are your partners that you used to claim with him?
Good. MashaAllah. Right. So let's go to the Tafsir and see Tafsir ibn Kathir. And gathering the polytheists shall be questioned about the shirk they committed. So now it's from 22 to 26. Group of ayahs that will have the same concept or same idea about the polytheists. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and on the day when we shall gather them all together. This is the day of resurrection when he will ask them about the idols and rivals that they worship. Instead of him, Allah will say to them, where are your partners, false deities, when you used to assert as partners in worship with Allah? Allah said, Surah Qasas again, and remember the day when we will call to them and say, where are my so-called partners who used to assert, right? So it's about associating um, partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's go back in 22. Okay. Okay. No, I did the wrong one. Okay. That's 22. 22. And who is more unjust in this ayah? It was uh, will associate partners with Allah and deny Allah's commandments. Okay. The question is, so the question is, what will Allah say to the polytheist on the day of judgment, to the mushrikeen, those who associate partners with Allah? Those are the poly means many, and these they worship many gods, right? So what will Allah say to the polytheist on the day of judgment? And the answer is, Allah will say, Allah will say, so you can say, Allah will gather them all together and will say to the polytheist, where are your partners that you used to claim? Like, where are those partners? Because the day of judgment, nobody will be there. So the question would be, Allah will say on the day of judgment to the polytheists, will ask them the question, what what, oh, sorry, where are your partners that you used to claim with him? This is the answer. You can say those who associate their partners others with Allah, because the question I made is shorter. Use the word polytheist, mushriki.
Sorry, can you repeat one more time?
Allah will say to the polytheist on the day of judgment that, or you can say Allah will ask the polytheist on the day of judgment, where are your partners that you used to claim or associate with Allah? Where are your partners that you used to claim with Him, with Allah? Let me know when you're done.
Done.
Okay, let me check. One second. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the polytheist on the day of judgment, where are your partners that you used to claim with Him? Okay. Uh, okay, one second. So when you're saying that Allah will say, so you would put, Allah will say to them, and when there's a question, you would put in quotation marks. Okay, you don't have to put the bracket over here. It's okay. Just to
So you want
claim.
me to put where your when it starts from partners, you want me to put it there?
Yeah. So when you would ask the question, we'll say then comma and then quotation marks. They have to be there.
With the question mark.
After the question mark, there'll be quotation marks will end. So the question, it will say, so what he
Done.
will say, yeah, will be in quotation marks.
You might have to refresh.
Okay. Yes, now it's okay. So what I want to tell you, Samantha will say to the policies on day of judgment. Okay. So because it's a question, either you can say, um, the way you wrote it, it's like, will say on the day of judgment, and what he will say will be in quotation marks because that is what he will be asking. Okay. But if you don't want to put this, So you would say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the polytheist on Day of Judgment, where how would you say when you want to, where are theirs? Yes. Then you will say, where are their partners that they used to associate with, used to claim with him or associate with him. Okay. So basically, if you don't want to put the quotation marks, then you will say it in your words, right? But if you want to use the same sentence, then you have to put a comma and quotation marks, and the question has to come within the quotation marks. Okay, so there are two ways of saying it. You can say that where are their partners they used to claim, or policy on day of judgment. We say where are your partners? It means it's the first person. It has to come in brackets in quotation marks. When you're using the word your, it means you're talking to someone. So that has to be in quotation. But if you're saying in the there, then it's the third party, it's the first person, right? When you first person says to the second one, and use you or your. But when you're talking about the third person, it's there. Then you don't have to use the quotation marks. Is that clear? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Asma, are you done as well?
I'm done. This is
Okay.
Haika, by the way. I
Oh, why is it showing two of your
because I changed the bottom one.
oh, okay.
It's both different.
Parents that they used to claim with him. Yes. So then you don't have to um, use the quotation because it's now your way of saying it, not the exact words of the speaker. Okay, and Asma, you were saying that you have also submitted.
No, that was
Asma,
me for the second one.
oh, that was you. Okay, she hasn't. Okay, Asma, are you done? I can't hear. Okay, so since everyone, Asma and Abdullah are doing it, so maybe you can share your screen for um, the arts project.
So,
Are you done with that?
sorry?
The arts project.
Yeah, I have it completed.
You have completed it?
I
Yes.
completed it too.
Okay, so you can share your screen and I had some other students' videos, but I haven't got received them yet. So I'll just watch yours then, okay? So who wants to go? Haika, you want to go
Wait,
first?
which art project? Wait, for the art project, isn't it in person?
Um, Basically, we were thinking of when you come for the because it's in June, right? So but we have to give you marks before. So
Yeah.
that's why we have to see online first.
I'm saying that isn't the project going to be like physical? Because you said share your screen for the art project.
Yes. So you can like you did for the science one, you share the screen and explain your project.
Oh, you mean open my camera?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me just set it up.
Okay, no problem. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to share the screen and for Abdullah and Asma, where's 22? Let me know when you're done. I can, well, Asma has, Haika has posted. So you do have, in the meantime, Haika setting it up. Let me know, Asma and Abdullah, when you're done. Asma, are you done? I'm not, I can't hear you, so I'm going to stop sharing again.
I'm done.
Okay. The mic is not on. Okay. So I'm going to check it's the Google Classroom. Okay, so I have it here. Um, Abdullah and okay, everyone submitted. Allah will say to the people who committed shirk, where are their partners? Allah will say to the polytheists on the day of judgment, where are the partners that they used to claim with him? Okay, very good. The partners that they used to claim. Where are the partners that they used to claim with him? Where the where are the partners that they used to claim with him? Okay, it's very nice that you've written. Just that where are the partners that they used to claim with him? Okay, so just that means the rest is fine. Oh, okay, so I stopped sharing. All right. So if you're ready, Haika, you can go ahead and one after the other, everyone can share the cameras. Open the cameras for the project.
Okay, teacher, I'm ready.
Okay.
My name is Haikazishan, and I made this miniature bedroom inspired by the space where I do most of my crafting, my own room. I wanted to create a small space, a small model that represents the type of working on projects. As you can, and there are two little lip glosses that I also made. Here I can show you how they actually look. I actually made these myself too.
Okay, so you made these lip balms yourself?
Over And then there's also a chair over here where you can sit on. And as you can see, there's a miniature cat on here, just as my cat sits on my chair. Over here is a carpet that I also made.
Okay, nice.
And then there's another cat with a pillow beside it. Then over here is a chandelier that actually lights up. I even made this chandelier myself.
Oh, that's
These are miniature photos in the back. I made this photo out of glue and some beads. And then I drew this two inspirational posters. Over here is the bed where I knitted this blanket myself. And then you can see there's a miniature book and drink where I like to read in my bed, and I normally have a drink with me. Here's a miniature book that you can actually write in. I have wrote stuff in here before. Over here I also made a storage area where you can put little stuff in, just as boxes or anything else you need to put in. Then of course, beside your bed you need a place where you can hang up your hats, just like this one. That goes over here. I even made this hook myself. And then as you can see in the background, there are some decoration on the walls.
so this is your room?
It's inspired by my room, yes.
Okay. And so how did you make this chandelier?
The chandelier, I decorated using some beads, and then I took some tape and I took some strings too to hang it up.
Okay. And how is the lighting?
It has a little. It's like has a little hook switch here
Oh,
that lights up.
okay, that's nice, mashallah. And how did you make the carpet?
The carpet, I use a needle and thread, and then I would just go through it.
Okay, so it has flowers on it too. That's
Yes.
nice. Okay, yeah, it looks nice. And how did you make the lip balms?
These I used like just as you would make a real one. I used gloss, and then I used color, and then one more thing, but I forgot what it's called. I'm pretty sure there's also water in these, a little bit, and then you just make this all together.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, okay. That's nice, mashallah. Very nice project.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, very good. All right. Who wants to go next? Asma, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, you can open your camera. Yeah, Asma, you're muted. You start again. You're muted. Unmute yourself and then.
Sorry. Okay. Um. Anyways, so my opinion, my art project isn't nearly that intricate, but I do think that I did a pretty good job. My name is, if you didn't know, my name in Arabic is spelled a little differently from the normal asmas. It has like a ya and then a teeny alif on top, which makes it asma. Um, so what happened was I was trying to do a painting in space, but I ended up messing it up a little bit, so I changed it up a little. I went with what I had. So I painted some trees, and if you didn't know, I also have short hair and a swing in my backyard. So this is me on the swing. Mm, And then I was just, this should be Earth, but I think I messed it up a little bit. I think it's good. There's also like teeny specks of snow over here, but I don't think you can see it too well because of the camera. If you see it in person, you can see it much better.
Okay, that's nice.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I think that's it.
it's you, Asma, on the swing in your home, right? At the backyard.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice, mashallah. Okay, very good. Abdullah, you can go next.
Okay.
So make
Oh,
sure you put a photo and in the Google Classroom, inshallah. Okay, so we can have other judges watch. We can see the video as well. Okay, Abdullah, your turn.
Okay. I'm setting it up. One second.
Okay, let me just check. Uh, it's not showing. View options. Okay, that's nice. You have to unmute yourself and then explain.
Okay.
Just make sure it's focused. Right now, it's not focused. Yes, now it's clear.
Can you see properly?
Yes, I can see it now.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdullah, and this is my project about Peggy's Cove. Peggy's Cove is a small fishing village in Nova Scotia, Canada. It is it's famous for its lighthouse. It's called Peggy's Cove Point Lighthouse. The lighthouse was built in 1915 to help ships stay in the near side of the rocky shore. It is one of the most photographed lighthouses in Canada. Many tourists visit Peggy's Cove every year to see the lighthouse and the ocean views. Many people enjoy walking in the large rocks around the lighthouse. The area is very beautiful with the waves crashing through the shore. It is a great place to take pictures and enjoy the sea. Visitors need to be careful because sometimes the rocks can be slippery and dangerous. There's signs warning people to keep on the dry rocks, the dry white rocks, not on the slippery wet rocks. It is a fun place and a safe place to explore. My aunt and cousins live in Nova Scotia, and I enjoyed uh, visiting and exploring Nova Scotia with them. So basically, Peggy's Cove was named after St. Martin Bay. A more historical ground theory is that Peggy's Cove was named after a St. Martin Bay, which itself was named by the early French explorers. Peggy is a common nickname for margin, so the village at the head of the bay became Peggy's Cove. So this is the Peggy's Cove lighthouse point. So we made lots of pictures at Peggy's Cove Light Point, and here you can tell this is all the Peggy's Cove. This is the rocks when the Peggy's Cove is on top of it, with the sun rising, and the sky I made too. I painted everything. As you can see, there's rocks here too because there's lots of rocks there, lots of large rocks. I really enjoyed watching the waves splash through this shore, the rocks, and like it was amazing. I really loved the Peggy's Cove. I really recommend if someone's going there, you should really go to Peggy's Cove if you're going to Nova Scotia. And basically the Peggy's Cove is like it's the Atlantic Sea area where the Atlantic Sea is. That's where it's located, and I really enjoyed going to Peggy's Cove. Any questions?
Yes. So did you see a video of it, or do you have actually gone there?
I actually gone there.
Okay, that's nice. I love Scotia. That's very nice, mashallah. Very good project. And I'll have the other judges to view this. Inshallah, we'll let you know. Jazakallah khair.
I can show you a picture of it.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Oh, that's
This is
nice.
me, and that's the Peggy's Cove.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you find the weather there?
It was a bit chilly there. It was really windy because
Okay.
it's near the ocean. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Very nice, mashallah. Okay. So, um, very good. And we're going to we're going to give you marks, inshallah. You can take a 5 minutes break, and then Sister Saima will continue, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Islam. Islam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Finally, what do you use to charge your phone? And what? What do you use to charge the phone when I am not home? The phone? You use the phone to charge your phone? Oh, nothing. So it just died? Yes. I have no idea where that Okay, is. Abdullah, can you read this ayah? Search.
Okay.
Can you read from here?
Okay.
At this point, I'm pretty sure some.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا نصيب من الملتفات لا ذو نتاسا
Nannasa, nannasa.
ناسا
Naqira.
نكيرا
Mhm.
فمنه من آمن به ومنهم
No, why don't you read this one, the above ayah?
I read that.
Am yahsuduna an-nasa.
يحسد الناس الناس على ما آتاهم الله من من فضله
Min fadlihi.
من فضله فقد آتينا على إبراهيم الكتاب
Kitaba.
والكتاب
Wal hikmata.
والحكمة وآتيناه ملكا
Mulkan azima.
عظيما فمنهم من آمن به ومنهم ما أس
Man sadda anhu.
من أسرهم wa ka fa a
بجهنم سعيرا.
bi jannah sira. Innal ladhina kafaru bi ayatina wafanus
سوف نصليهم
kafsanulisem
سوف نصليهم نارا
anulisem na kullama na sijat
نضجت جلودهم
najidat wajurahum
نضجت جلودهم
julidun ba
بدلناهم
badalnahu
جلودا
juludan
غيرها
tahiraha
ليذوقوا
liyadhukum
العذاب
hal azaba
إن الله
inna allaha
كان عزيزا حكيما.
anar azizan hakima.
والذين آمنوا
Wallazina amanu
وعملوا الصالحات.
amilus salihati
Yes, can you read سندخلهم
ونزغلهم
جنات تجري
jannatin tajri
من تحتها الأنهار
min tahti al-anhar
خالدين فيها
khalidina fiha
أبدا
abadan
لهم فيها
lahum fiha
أزواج مطهرة
azwajun muhattaratun
وندخلهم
wa nadkhuluhum
ظلا ظليلا.
dhillat alina.
اوكي ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Okay. Did we complete Surah Hud? Okay, we'll start Surah Yusuf. Okay, Asma, can you read it?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه قرآنا قربيا لعلكم تعقلون نحن نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص وبما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر ورأيتهم لي ساجدين قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم من ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم لقد كان في يوسف وإخواته وآيات لل للسائلين إذ قالوا ليوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين اقتلوا يوسف أو اطرحوه أرضا يخلو لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعده قوما صالحين وقال قائل منهم لا تقتلوا يوسف وألقوه في غيابة الجب يلتقطه بعض السيارة إن كنتم فاعلين قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون قال إني ليحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون فقالوا لئن أكله الذئب
أو نحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون. Okay, Haika, can you read from here? Haika, are you here?
Yes.
Abdullah? Haika, can you read from here?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فلما ذهبوا به يجعلوه أن يجعلوه في غيابة الجب وأوحينا إليه لتنبئنهم بأمرهم هذا وهم لا يشعرون. وجاءوا أباهم إشاء يبنى ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين.
صادقين.
صادقين. وجاءوا آل قميصه بدم كذب قال بل
The
سولت أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون. وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم فأدلى وهو قال يا بشرى هذا غلام وأسروه بضاعة والله عليم بما يعملون. وشروه بثمن بخس دراهم معدودة وكانوا فيه من الزاهدين. وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر
لامرأته
أكرمي مثواه
لامرأته
عسى أن ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث والله غالب على أمره ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه وعلما وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وراودت التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه وغلقت الأبواب وقالت هيت لك قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا
مسوايا.
يفلح الظالمون.
Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. Uh, all Ashra and Mubashara you have read already. Relation with Al Kitab or the people of the book. Pillars of the trade. 5 pillars of the trade. Islam forbids riba, usually. Okay, Haika, can you read it? Haika,
Yes.
can you read?
Okay. The pillars of trade are 5. The seller, this must be the owner or whatever they sell, or they should have the permission to sell what they are selling. The seller should be a responsible person. The buyer, the merchandise. The good intended for sale must be lawful, pure, and capable of being delivered. They should be known to the buyer as to what they are, even if they are known by their description. The contract. This is verbal offer and acceptance. For instance, the buyer says, "Sell me such and such a thing." Then the seller responds, "I have sold it to you." Mutual consent. No business transaction is valid without the mutual consent of both parties. All unlawful means that acquiring property are denounced. O you who believe, do not consume one another's wealth unjustly, but only in lawful businesses by mutual consent. Bribery and misappropriation are strictly forbidden. Allah commands you to make over trust to their owners. Gambling is forbidden as being a false or dishonest means of obtaining wealth. All kinds of lotteries and the playing of roulette, however small the sums involved, fall within the game of chance, and there and are therefore forbidden in Islam. They not only promote the habit of indulgence and are thus negative of honest labor, but also reduce some members of society to extreme poverty, while other prospers at the expense. Usury, which has been dealt with earlier, is also forbidden for the same reason. The word riba means an addiction over and above the principal lent. Therefore, it apparently includes all kinds of interest, wherever the rate is low or high, whenever the interest is or is not added to the principal sum after fixed period. Interest is opposite for the debtor, a fact which is borne out by the history of in all countries. Islamic finances of or Islamic economies has wealth of extremely useful information for our modern economists and MBAs.
Explain in your own words the hadith. No one has ever eaten better food than that which he eats from the work done by his own hand. Give the significance of the verse. Give full measure when you measure and weigh with the balance that is straight. That is the most fitting and the most advantageous in the final determination. List a few examples of the forbidden trade. What is the wisdom behind forbidden riba? Which trades are forbidden? Can you list? Those are not written over here.
Gambling,
Yeah, gambling, easy money lotteries, such as lotteries, and what what else? Uh, Selling or buying any haram food or anything haram, that is also forbidden. And what dealing with riba? For further study and research. Okay. Asfa, can you read? Asma, can you read? Okay, Abdullah, can you read this chapter? Asma, come and read this chapter. Read this chapter.
Linguistically, Sharia means a way, a path, and clear flows for. We already did this.
Huh?
We already did this.
No, it's Sharia.
We already did that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. Like, pretty sure actually a couple days ago. We finished that entire chapter. Yeah, that means the book's done. Yep.
This was the last chapter.
Yeah, the Sharia, we finished it.
Oh gosh, this is the last chapter.
We finished.
No, we will study the next book. Come, sit here. Sit here. Okay, come. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Asma, can you read this chapter? Read it.
Okay. The beginning of Islam. Social and economic beliefs, conditions, beliefs, and customs. The term Jahiliyyah. What is Jahiliyyah? The term Jahiliyyah, which occurs in the Quran 4 times, comes with the Arabic root JHL, which means ignorance, lack of knowledge, to ignore, foolishness, quick temper, and to be rash. Jahiliyyah is not merely ignorance, but rather, in the extreme sense, a state of mind that reflects the. Your mama, you're not sharing your screen.
Asma.
Now I'm sharing it. And in the extreme state, it's a state of mind that reflects the qualities of knowing the truth but stubbornly refusing to acknowledge it. It is to deliberately act against what is right, combined with stubbornness, argumentativeness, disrespect, and total disregard for people's criticism. Mm, Thus, the word jahil means ignorance, foolishness, and stupidity, and it is the opposite of ilm or knowledge. Now, the term is also used for having wrong beliefs about something as well as for not doing something as it ought to be performed. Jahiliyyah indicates the state of things, the state of ignorance, or the age of ignorance. It is often used to refer to paganism or of the pre-Islamic period. To be more precise, Jahiliyyah is the time of the ignorance before the advent of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ in Arabia. The most decisive thing that one should do is one should realize here that it has here has to do with Allah. Some people.
What is the difference between stubbornness and steadfastness?
Steadfastness is that taking the people's criticism, but making sure that they make sure to see what they're doing, like what is it that, why would they do this, and understanding it before remaining steadfast. While stubbornness is basically just not caring about what they think, what they're saying, what they're doing.
What is the fact and what is the realities and what are the teachings? Huh? Yeah, okay. And okay. Okay, now you can.
Jahiliyyah is commonly translated as the age of ignorance. That is ignorance of the word of God. Therefore, it is relevant to understand the designation of Jahiliyyah as referring to an age of recklessness and disregard for certain moral, spiritual, and social values brought by Islam. In the Quran, the word Jahiliyyah is used as the opposite of Islamic teachings and reforms. The Islamic teachings are based on the knowledge and guidance from Allah. Allah is the only source of all knowledge, as He taught Adam alayhi salam, from the first human being, the names of all things. Surah Al-Baqarah 231. In the pre-Islamic period, the way of life and laws were not based on reason or revelation, but on whims, guesswork, and superstitions. However, the Quran does not reject all good values prevalent in Arabia before the advent of Islam. Many practices were reformed, and other good values, for example, generosity and hospitality, were retained. As a matter of fact, life in Arabia in the decades preceding Islam by no means devoid of finer elements. The Arab civilization was no doubt stale and decadent, as it possessed no philosophy and no art whatsoever, with the sole example of poetry. Mm, in Arabia, there were many towns, but each followed its own political system, which was closer to being a sheikhdom rather than a kingdom. The major cities of those times were Mecca, Ta'if, and Yathrib, to be called Medina later.
Okay, Haika, can you read from here?
Okay.
Makkah history in brief.
Sorry, just give me one sec. Prophet Ibrahim Islam migrated from Iraq to Syria, then from there to Egypt, carrying with him the message of the true one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim Islam was indeed a model. He was dutiful to Allah. He was a man of pure faith and was not at all an idolater. His story of encountering with the idols and pagans of his time is well known, and the Quran speaks of this in several places. As for his story of processing Tawheed in Makkah, see Surat Ibrahim and Surat Safat. Ibrahim Islam was accompanied by his second wife, Hajar, Ismail's mother. His first wife was childless for the time.
Okay. Okay, you can continue, Micah.
Okay. Hajar bore the first son, and he named him Ismail. Ibrahim took her and her child to the place close to where the sacred house is under a tree above the Zamzam well. There was no Makkah and no inhabitants. There was no water either. Ibrahim Islam left her with a small bag containing some dates and a water skin filled with water. As Ibrahim Islam turned to leave, Hajar followed him and asked, "Where are you going, leaving us in this desert place?" She repeated the question several times, but he would not return to her. Finally, she asked, "Has Allah commanded you to do this?" He replied, "Yes, she did." She said, "Yes," she said. Then surely he will not abandon us." She returned. Ibrahim Islam continued until he was at the mountain path from which he could not be seen. He turned towards the place and prayed, "Our Lord, I settled some of my offsprings in the valley without cultivation by your sacred house, so that they may establish prayers, so make the hearts of some people inclined towards them, and provide them with fruit so that they may give thanks." The place is still barren. It was 4,000 years ago. No trees bear any fruit there. All the fruit found in the city are brought to it from outside, and this clearly shows that Prophet Ibrahim's supplication was accepted constantly. We see the amazing spectacle that the Meccan markets are always laden with fruits of all varieties. It was not too long before the water was exhausted, before Hajar and her child was thirsty, especially painful for her to see the child within surround suffer. She climbed to the nearest hill called Asafa to see if she could spot someone. No, not finding anyone, she lifted a little, and ran down across the length of the valley to climb another hill called Al Marwa to see if she could find a living soul. She found no one, and she ran between the hills several times. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that this is the origin of the Sa'i ritual in Hajj and Umrah, that the end of the seventh round, angel Ibrahim Islam came down. He used either his heel or wing to track down the source of Zamzam spring and dug until the water began to gush out. Hajar began to put a hedge around the gushing water with some sand. As the water level rose, she cupped her hands together to collect her water skin. The water kept gushing down steadily. She drank it and continued to nurse her child. The angel told her, "Do not be afraid of being abandoned. This is the house of your Lord, which the child and his father will be built. Allah does not abandon his servant." While she held to the place, one of the families of the Jurham tribe from the Qatan of the Yemen happened to pass by. Finding that water was available there, they granted her permission to settle down.
Okay. Social conditions in Arabia during time. Yes. Okay. Haika, you can continue.
The condition that the spring water would remain her property, though they could draw from it, they agreed and later sent for the rest of the tribe to come and join them. The never-increasing flow of Zamzam had failed right up to this day, when millions of gallons of water are drawn every day with the help of several large power-driven pumps. The Zamzam is both water and food at the same time. It is good for whatever it is drunk for. If you drink it against thirst, Allah will slake your thirst. If you consider it sweet, Allah will if you seek to be cured with it, Allah will certainly cure you. Hajar's child grew into a handsome young man and learned Arabic from members of the Muslim tribes. Soon they gave one of them their daughters in marriage. Ibrahim Islam visited them several times. In one of them, his visits, he asked Ismail to help him in building the house that Allah had ordered him to build. That the house was built on a raised spot close to Zamzam, and Ismail continued to live next to it. By the sides of his in-laws, the Jurham, among whom he married. He was a truthful person as well as a messenger and prophet. He had 12 sons when he died. He was buried in the Hijr area by the side of his mother's grave. It is said that he lived for 137 years. It might also been pointed out that the Ibrahimic period is considered to be the 1900 years before the event of Prophet Isa Islam.
Okay. How long is this lesson? This lesson is quite long. Asma? Asma, can you read?
Social conditions in Arabia during the time of ignorance. In pre-Islamic Arabia, communities who took the form of a number of groups or tribes who were held together by loyalty to a leader or by descendant from a common successor. The family units that made up the tribes were equal in status to each other. The chiefs of each family had power to select the tribal chief or sheikh, who normally came from certain families. Slavery was commonplace. Before the Prophet's time, slaves were either war captives or children of slaves or taken in raids in hostile territory. Apart from a few oases and trading centers, the peninsula was desert and the way of life was nomadic or pastoral. Desert life was very harsh and uncompromising. It was often accompanied by grinding poverty. There was a strong temptation to lay a hand on the belongings of others who were apparently wealthier, and this usually took the form of raids in which there were strict rules laid down by the custom. Where possible, possessions were seized without loss of life. Killing carries severe penalties according to the tradition of the desert. The free Arabs are bound by no written law. No authority existed to enforce law and order. Therefore, the only protection for any person's life was the fact that it would be bought dearly. Blood must be paid by blood, a life for a life. Retribution or vendetta was one of the pillars of Bedouin society. In terms of culture, the Arabs admired people who possessed eloquence and who can argue their point of view in the tribal council. Wise men were highly respected, but poets were valued even more. The poets sang of love, grief, joy, and sorrow. Contests were held in which each participant boasted of his own tribe and mocked those of his rivals. Since the religion of the Arabs was idol worship, which is against human nature, reason, and logic, it was bound to create a social life that was essentially against the demands of nature, reason, and logic. Excess of all the sorts were widespread: drinking, gambling, unlimited spouses, infanticide from fear of or as a result of poverty, killing of female children for reasons of a false sense of honor, and eruption of wars for petty reasons. All these led to anarchy. In many ways, the Arabs of the pre-Islamic times were loathsome in their manners and morals. They consumed great quantities of alcohol, gambled frequently, and would shed blood for the most trivial reasons. Hmm. Trivial reason. They would devour the wealth of orphans, steal, fornicate, and deal in usury. However, it was the female slaves and fallen women who fornicated. Free women were rarely guilty of that crime. Some of the marriage practices prevalent among the common people was not much different from prostitution. Four kinds of marriages were prevalent among the pre-Islamic Arabs. One of them was similar to the one commonly prevalent. Another one was lending one's wife. In this system, a man had with a woman who had no with her husband between two menstrual cycles. Following that, the husband would not go to near her until he was sure whether or not she was pregnant from the person whom she had there was the group marriage in which a group of people, normally less than 10, assembled and had with a woman. When she became pregnant and delivered the child, she would send for them and designate one of them as the child's father. A fourth marriage was one in which a woman hoisted a flag on her house. A lot of people went to her and had with her. When she delivered a child, they hired a tracker who declared one of them and nearest in the resemblance to the child as the child's father. When Islam came, it declared all these practices unlawful except the first one. In those days, people would take into marriage two real sisters at a time. A man would also marry the wives of his father at his death or when he divorced them. Divorce had no limit. Men would divorce any number of times, but Islam abolished this wrong practice. Admittedly, though, as we pointed out above, life in Arabia preceding Islamic was by no means devoid of finer qualities. There were, of course, some good characteristics among the Arabs. The minds of the Arabs of those times were like clean slates, ready to record and contain the right ideas. The mind's freedom from ideas from or mm, no, the mind's freedom of ideas allowed a powerful memory. Another characteristic was that Arabs greatly valued freedom and independence, and they would not bend down to anyone except their leaders who commanded their respect by displaying the qualities that they approved of, such as chivalry, patience, and fortitude. Moreover, despite their worship of idols, they did not deny God's existence.
Okay. So this was your lesson for today. Inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.